Climb are the sole distributor in the UK and Ireland for the world-leading application packaging solution, which is head and shoulders above the rest.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Cuppa with Climb, the first episode of Series 2 in fact. We couldn't have asked anyone else to take part in this particular episode than our very own Chris Beagle. Chris is the Flexera Business Development Manager here at Climb, and you might recognise him from the very first episode of Series 1, our pilot episode if you like.
Yeah, glad to be back, Hope, and thanks for having me. Just a little refresher on me and my role at Climb. I'm the Flexera Business Development Manager, as you mentioned, working almost as an extension of the vendor to help identify and enable those partners who really want to work closely with us and our vendors so that we can work together to deliver to our customers.
Thanks for that, Chris. Throughout this series, we're going to be covering the biggest issues facing end users and how to solve them, including fantastic solutions from our partner vendors and how we can assist resellers. We're kickstarting this series with application packaging. So tell me, Chris, what is packaging and why is it so important?
Yeah, great place to start. So at its highest level, application packaging is the process that organizations go through to get the software they need onto the devices of relevant users. So for example, let's say you have a business where each employee needs to have Adobe on their devices. You can't ask 100 people to go and download and install software themselves. They might unwittingly download unsecure versions from insecure locations. So the benefits of application packaging are vast and involve cost saving as well as increased security and efficiency. The complications come when you realize that every single organization has their own bespoke environment with different software needs deployed in unique ways.
I see. So kind of like wrapping individual presents, all different weird shapes and sizes that leave you wishing you just bought your friend a Rubik's Cube for their birthday. And why is this topic a priority for businesses at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'd say that application packaging is always a priority because it's a continual process. So every company that uses applications needs to have what's called an application readiness process in place, which just means what is the process that you go through to enable your apps to work in your bespoke environment. That need doesn't really abate as new apps will always need to be packaged, especially if the business is going through any sort of transformation. And the changes we've seen since way back in March 2020 with the pandemic put a lot of strain on a lot of businesses. Some have had to change their entire application readiness process because the game has changed now. It's not just PCs in offices, it's laptops from home, it's bring your own device, it's possible insecure networks are being accessed. It's brought a lot of challenges to the fore.
I see. I'm sure there's been a lot of people logging in from cute cafes and coffee shops since the restrictions were lifted. Maybe even a pub, who knows? In light of all these changes in the workforce, how should resellers approach this conversation with their customers?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will be interested in that. So in this circumstance, resellers will know that their customers will have an application readiness process already established, as we discussed. So you already know that the solution you're about to discuss is relevant to almost every customer, and that's really comforting to know from a reseller point of view. There's absolutely no harm in simply asking what that customer's current application packaging process is. You either get I don't know, which opens the floodgates to huge conversations as to why it's important to know, or you'll probably get an answer on the lines of a process that kind of does the job. It's the classic sort of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And both those answers tend to offer very insightful answers, really. So off the back of that response, I would like to drive home the importance of app packaging, with a thought-provoking question around what would happen if one or any or all of your applications just suddenly stopped working? Those answers are then, we lose money, we lose functionality, effectively we lose control. That conversation tends to take a very natural path into, well, would using the market leading application readiness solution help your business?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. And I'm assuming that this natural path leads me to believe that Flexera has the market leading application readiness solution.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. So Flexera's offering in the app packaging game is Admin Studio. So Admin Studio has been around for over 16 years and is considered that market leader in the application packaging space.
That's great. And what are the benefits of Admin Studio?
Again, another great question. So having been around for that duration of 16 years plus, Admin Studio is what's called a mature product offering a mature app packaging process. Sounds great. What does it actually mean? It means that Flexera have worked out any kinks, teething issues, and you know that the next version of Admin Studio won't be hugely different from the previous version, apart from getting regular updates. So there's lots of research and development that goes into it. So effectively, it's future-proof. Admin Studio delivers consistency and standardization. What does that mean? Well, again, due to it being future-proof, once you've learned how to use Admin Studio, then you'll never have to learn it again. Is this the essence? One platform that does one process. So even if you skipped a few versions, you'll be able to pick it up again like you never left. That really resonates with infrastructure and operations teams who are always looking to increase their efficiency. It's also particularly useful when it comes to any form of digital transformation, so desktop refreshes, operating system migrations. Those are really important to look at when you're looking at application compatibility. And with Windows 10 and now Windows 11, it's a very relevant conversation to be having.
Brilliant. Thanks for taking us through that. It's definitely resonated with me for sure, and I'm sure it will resonate with our resellers as well. So how can Climb help these resellers with their Flexera opportunities?
Yeah, well, firstly, I hear through the grapevine that Climb have an exceptional business development manager who looks after Flexera. But in all seriousness, Climb are the sole distributor in the UK and Ireland for the world-leading application packaging solution, which is head and shoulders above the rest. Climb have been partners with Flexera for many years now. We work, as I mentioned at the start, almost as an extension of the vendor and look to add as much value as possible through the entire sales cycle. We'll do as much of the heavy lifting for partners as we can, having discussions with customers where we can really open up that talk track as to how Flexera can assist them. We also work sort of not only as in that consultative manner to resellers and customers, but we also offer professional services such as training on Flexera products and really provide customers with that end-to-end support from the first inception of Flexera all the way through to the purchasing and the learning of the best practices on how to use the solution.
Yeah, I think I've heard about this exceptional business development manager. I wonder who that is. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Chris. It was really great to have you back for another episode.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's amazing how a Cuppa with Climb has grown and improved and evolved since our very first video about a year ago.
Well, thank you so much. It is all down to our designer, Jason, really. So, round of applause to him. Now, if any of our viewers would like to inquire about Flexera Admin Studio or any of Flexera's market-leading solutions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with Chris by emailing chrisb@climbcs.co.uk or find out more on the Flexera Vendor Hub.
Yeah, and also feel free to reach out to me and connect on LinkedIn. I've always got time for a quick DM.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of A Cuppa with Climb. In our next installation, we'll be sitting down with SolarWinds, so keep an eye out for that. And until next time, cheers.
Bye.
Bye.